Hey, sports porchers. It's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back in the Pittsburgh studio with Game 61 analysis of your Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Washington Capitals. Well, honestly, tonight is one of those nights where it's just a rough game to watch. I'm back in the Pittsburgh studio, and I watched every second, and it was absolutely brutal. But look, we've got a lot of analysis to get to. We still got a quarter of the season to play, and we got to find out how these Pittsburgh Penguins are going to finish the season, who they're going to finish the season with, and why it all matters for the future for the franchise for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, hop on the porch, smash that subscription button, smash it, smash it. Where is it? Right there. Smash it. And you'll get the hockey Jesus every time. Let's go. Pittsburgh Penguins fans. Tonight was just an absolute debacle of a game. 6-0 Washington Capitals come into Pittsburgh after losing to Arizona at home, after they had actually a pretty good win streak going. Washington trades one of their best defensemen, and they managed to pull it all together. Look, Capitals have been rebuilding for a couple years now. They've been through this. This is the second time they've been through this trade deadline. So I think they actually know how to handle everything that's happening. All these emotions about, Jake leaving and who else may actually depart with him are brand new for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And definitely this group, because this group is brand new. And I just don't think the Pittsburgh Penguins as an organization know how to handle situations like this, because we haven't been through one in almost 2 decades. So that being said, Pittsburgh Penguins came out tonight. They had the opportunity to go up 1-0 on a power play. And you know what happened if you watch the game. If you don't watch the game, you probably still know what happens when the Pittsburgh Penguins go on a power play. They give up a shorthanded goal. And not only did they give up a shorthanded goal, they gave up a shorthanded goal to our buddy, Mr. Wilson. Let me tell you, he made a really nice goal on the rebound. I'll have to give it to Mr. Wilson on this one. And but there's just no excuse for the amount of shorthanded goals this team has given up this year. It's something they're going to have to address in the postseason. Hopefully, they can address it honestly in the last 20 games. I don't see why not experimenting with something different when it comes to what's going on at the point. Because what happens at the point is Gino either tries to come down and he loses the puck, and then you got Carlson 2-on-1 the other way. Somebody else is not back on the other wing, and it's a 2-on-1, and it ends up getting into the back of the net. I'm telling you, Jari, when he sees this happening in his mind, he's already given the goal to the other team. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen this video where a player breaks away and there's nobody on him, and the goalie just turns around and pushes the goal off of the net because he doesn't think he can stop him. I almost feel like that's what Jari wants to do when he sees a guy coming down his way with a shorty, because he knows that's what's going to happen. He knows it's going to end up in the back of the net. Ned's the same way. It's unexplainable, and it's something that absolutely needs to be fixed in the last 20 games with this Pittsburgh Penguin teams, should they want to continue next year with the similar makeup team. That's for a whole nother discussion for another day. But pretty much after that, it was all Washington. Look, the Penguins, there were like 27 shots on goal between both teams in the first period. That is a high amount of opportunities for both teams. And when you get that many opportunities, it's like anything. You have to bury it. You have to find a way to get a goal. And the Penguins are an amazing team where they can get 30 shots on goal, and it makes it look like they had no opportunity to score. And tonight, there was no exception. Washington's backup goalie clearly played a great game tonight, and just stonewalled the Penguins. But look, the big problem with this team is the first line. The first line is non-existent. Look, since Rust went out, I looked up the stats. Sid is a -9 and only has 3 points in his last 6 games with both Rust and Gensel out. And now with Gensel rumored to be traded to Carolina, which may happen as soon as tonight or tomorrow, um, that just means that and Rust is not due back anytime soon. I don't know how Sid's going to get out of this funk. He's got to find a way. Really 3 points in 6 games, a half a point a game from Sid. I mean, it's no wonder why this team is down. The goaltending hasn't been great either. When it has been great, it's too little, too late. Both Jars and Ned look terrible tonight. Uh, Jars especially. But when you're getting shell shocked like that, it's really hard to say. The other person who's been really terrible lately has been Letang. A -4 tonight again after a -3 the other night. Letang really is just fallen apart, especially since that Calgary game. He hasn't gotten his confidence back. Once again, I really think it has to do everything about this trade deadline. They're knowing one of their best buddies has gone away, and they don't know what to do. I hate to make a football equivalency here, but I watched the Barry Sanders show, and Barry Sanders retired suddenly and out of nowhere. And the reason he did was because he wanted to play with his buddies. He wanted to play football because it was fun, because he was playing with his buddies. And if he wasn't playing it with his friends, then he just wasn't interested in playing, and he hung him up. And I'm really hoping that's not the way Sid's going to go with this, but he's gonna have a rough day tomorrow. Look, the Pens play 3 games in 4 games. They play on Saturday and Sunday. They have an afternoon game. They probably have to get on a plane at some point tomorrow and head to Boston. I don't think they'll probably head there tonight, but maybe they will. It is an afternoon game in Boston tomorrow, and likewise, it's an afternoon game here back in Pittsburgh against Edmonton. So I mean, you're looking at Boston and Edmonton. Look, I gave you what they had to do. It was like 12-6-4, something like that, in order to get it. They've already lost 1 game, so they can only afford to lose 5 more games. It's just not in the cards this year for these Pittsburgh Penguins, and it really is of their own making. Gino went a long stretch of time where he didn't score. Now Sid's in a funk because of the trade deadline and not having both of his wingers, Rust and Gens, playing with him. And it's just a recipe for what is going on with the Penguins, and probably means, well, it doesn't necessarily 100% mean no playoffs, but it definitely looks like tomorrow will be a sell off and not a buy day. So tonight, your Pittsburgh Penguins lose 6-0 to the Washington Capitals in a game where they could have actually jumped them in the standing and could have tied, the Islanders and the Devils. And we talk about all these games on hand. This was a game on hand game, as will be Mondays. I'm sorry, Saturdays or Sundays games. So the games on hand are slowly going away, and the Penguins are not making up any ground, and they're losing valuable players. So hey, look, Pittsburgh Penguins fans, I know most of you have probably never been through this. I have been through this before. I am your hockey Jesus, and I will take you to the promised land. I promise I will see you through this transition time for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just stop back on the porch, and I will give you everything that you need to arm yourself so that you can handle this and know what is going on with your Pittsburgh Penguins. So, Penguins fans, keep the faith and let's go Pens.